This past week has been rife with the sudden deaths of many legendary performers and people, like George A. Romero, one of my biggest influences in filmmaking, Martin Landau, the charismatic and fun-to-watch actor from such films as Ed Wood, playing a sick interpretation of Bela Lugosi.
Fuck you!
Alfred Hitchcock's classic North by Northwest, and in one of my personal favorite roles, Sal Bandini from Ready to Rumble.
Sal Bandini. Wanna wrestle? Tap out, son.
As well as the sudden deaths of Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park, and actor John Hurd this past week. Actually yesterday as of this recording. Famous for his roles in movies like Home Alone, White Chicks, and shows like The Sopranos, Battlestar Galactica, and CSI Miami. The death of Chester Bennington as well as George A. Romero came as the biggest shocks to me personally, because George A. Romero was the man who not only directed my all-time favorite horror movie of all time, Night of the Living Dead, as well as just the whole Dead series, but he was one of the biggest influences to me from a directing standpoint. One of my first big series I tried to do on YouTube was a series called Zombie Horde, which I got inspired to do so by watching his movie Diary of the Dead, a movie about college kids making a horror movie in the woods when a zombie outbreak strikes the world around them. The film goes into a first-person perspective similar to Cloverfield, the movie being filmed and seen through the eyes of one, then later two protagonist cameras. The film made me want to try making a zombie-inspired film with the same kind of formula, being shot from the perspective of the protagonist and his team of survivors trying to make it out of Texas. But after part 2 and a couple of origin stories, the project just halted due to mostly life stuff, dealings with college, work, or just moving on altogether from the project. But yeah, he was and still is a very big influence on my way of filming stuff. The other big one was Chester Bennington. On the same day as his friend Chris Cornell's death, he took his life in a similar fashion. And I mean, it just can't be a coincidence. I saw an interview called Chester's Cry for Help or something along those lines, and he talks about hating being stuck in the same place every day and feeling the same way around people and stuff.
I don't know if anybody out there can relate, but like, I have a hard time with life. Sometimes. Right. Sometimes it's great, but a lot of times for me, it's really hard. And no matter how I'm feeling, like, I always find myself like struggling with certain patterns of behavior. I find myself like stuck in like the same thing that keeps repeating over and over again. And I'm just like, how am I in this? I know that for me, when I'm inside myself, when I'm in my own head, this place right here, this skull between my ears, that is a bad neighborhood, and I should not be in there alone. I can't be in there by myself.
What are you talking about?
It's insane.
Crazy, man.
It's crazy in here. This is a bad place for me to be by myself. I don't say nice things to myself. Like, there's another Chester in there that's like wants to take me down. If I'm out of myself, I'm great. If I'm inside all the time, I'm horrible. I'm a mess. And so for me, it's like that was kind of where I don't like my mind right now, stacking up problems that are so unnecessary. You know, that's where that came from for me.
And that made me think of not only me, but the many others suffering from depression and anxiety maybe as well. He's a very powerful person for having to go through all those past traumas and events in his life to make it to where he was now. Well, where he was. I read somewhere that he was molested or something as a kid. That shit will haunt anyone for the rest of their life, just like Jonathan Davis from Korn. On the song Daddy, he details a family friend or someone close to the family doing stuff to him as a child, but when he tried telling people, they wouldn't believe him, or he just felt scared to speak up. Chilling shit, man. Alright, let me switch it up from all this death and sadness for a while, because I'm starting to get kind of bummed out. So yeah, in other news this past week, O.J. Simpson's parole has been granted to him after he served the minimum 9 years of his 33-year sentence for the robbery and kidnapping shit for sports memorabilia, man. My dude, why the hell would you do this shit for some stuff you could have easily bought off eBay or something? Just go up to the dude and say, hey, I'm O.J. But nah, that probably wouldn't work. I bet the dude would have been like,
okay.
I don't know, man, but you are really fucking stupid for this shit, man. This was actually the last thing I ever read about OJ, him being arrested for stealing some sports memorabilia. I kind of forgot all about him. I thought he just got arrested and let go or something. I really didn't know that he'd been in jail for 9 years till now. I thought he was home after all that shit. I thought his lawyers would have been like,
if it doesn't fit,
You must acquit.
Maybe you heard Jay-Z talking all that shit on Story of OJ and wanted to catch him. Speeding in his white Bronco, chasing after him and shit. I don't know, man. All I could say is, OJ, I thought you were still out, and your life is really fucked up beyond repair now. Just take this L and move on to living comfortably and stay away from owning or even looking at sports memorabilia for a while, okay? Alright, so on to music shit. Well, I just finished a review of a classic album, the Mars Volta's album, Francis the Mute, so expect that soon. I'm also working on a new series that pits two of the biggest selling albums of any artist's discography against each other, called Album versus Album. But I thought I also had that shit on lock too. It turns out Carcino for Life had this type of video idea long before I even thought of it, so yeah, go check his shit out. It's pretty entertaining and fun to watch, but I guess I'm gonna borrow the name at least. I don't want to come off as someone stealing an idea because I didn't even know this guy had uploaded those battles before. But with his, it's mostly battles between another artist's big hit and another artist's big album, like Thriller versus Purple Rain, or Nas's Illmatic versus Biggie's Born to Die and stuff. I'm gonna focus on just an artist's biggest two albums against each other and see track for track, back to front, which one in my opinion is the strongest one. Like 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying versus The Massacre, or Pink Floyd To the Dark Side of the Moon versus The Wall, and so on. But yeah, I also got some more reviews on the way, so keep an eye out for that as well as more videos on my other two channels, Jojo Hernandez Games and our more horror exclusive channel, Gory Glory. Make sure to go check those out as well. So anyways, this was the weekly roundup. Hopefully next week will bring some happy shit because this week has been depressing as hell. Hope to see y'all again soon, and as always, peace.